Okay, so hi. Today's event is organized by Airost and so GitHub campus expert in UTM. And today workshop we will cover the very basic. Why I want to stress on the very basic because in Git and GitHub is a very big topic. There are a lot of things to learn. Until now, I also don't consider myself expert on this topic. There's still many things I need to learn. Every time I use Git, I still will run into some error, and then I need to Google and go to Stack Overflow to look for help. So that's why I say today is going to be a very basics of introduction to Git and GitHubs. Yeah, so I think we can start now. So just to be sure everyone can see my screen right. Yeah, I didn't see anything. So yeah, cool. I guess everyone can see my screen. Okay, first of all, before we talk about Git and GitHub, I think we need to talk about command line interface. So I'm not sure how many of you guys has I believe all of you guys are here developer or programmer that do some coding before, created some software before, do some problem solving creation before. But I'm not sure if, all of you here have tried using command line interface. Maybe all of you guys have tried, but maybe you guys don't know what you guys are using are actually command line interface. In short, we call it CLI. So this is a definition of command line interface. Maybe I'll just read it out, but don't stress your mind just to memorize this. It's just a definition that I Google. Okay, so command line interface, just like every other interface like GUI, graphical user interface, it connects a user to a computer program or operating system. It's just that compared to GUI, user will interact with a system or application by typing in text, and the text we type is known as or is called commands. And yeah, I also put a definition of graphical user interface. Basically, graphical user interface is everything we use in the software. Like what you see here, what you see in the Google slide here, everything here is considered a graphical user interface. Yeah, while CLI is something look like this. It looks very plain, very I would say boring and hard to understand. Sometimes it's very I will be honest, it's kind of frustrating to use it. But don't worry, today you guys will see the power of CLI. So why use CLI? Why not we just use graphical user interface, since it's way more easier to understand? Why we need to force ourselves to remember the command that sometimes it's very weird to memorize? That's the reason. The first one is that a lot of tools and software are using CLI. Like maybe you are I'm a data engineering student, so I'm not much of the expert on other topic. But I assume that if today you are developing in a Linux distro like Ubuntu, a lot of things that in Ubuntu or Linux you can only achieve by typing a command in the command line interface of Linux or Ubuntu. And I'm sure that a lot of people here are also kind of using, I assume, most of the people here have tried Discord, have tried using the Discord robot, or in short Discord bot, and in which you can type some command like play music, what, then the Discord bot will start playing music, right? These are also considered a CLI, I would say. And then if you are using VS Code or any other code editor, for sure that I would say almost every code editor will come with a command line interface that you see here. Maybe I just open the VS Code to show you guys. Any editor should have it. Don't worry if you are not using VS Code. I believe your editor will also have it. So yeah. So maybe you don't have it. Maybe this is what you see. To open out the terminal in your or command line interface in your VS Code, just go to terminal here and then type new terminal, and you will access it. This terminal here is nothing different from this terminal here. It's basically the same thing actually. Okay, so like I said, there's a lot of software that's using CLI, so it definitely won't harm if you learn how to use CLI and how to use command line, how to use command. And another reason is that it's way faster, I would say. I know at first that it's kind of like very frustrating, very difficult because you need to memorize those commands. But once you get the hang of it, it's actually very fast. It definitely speed out your works a lot. So before we start to talk about Git, we need to talk about some basic computer command first. From here, I will I will quit the full screen presentation mode because I need to navigate from here and to the slides. So I think it's better for me to do it this way. I think that, yeah. I hope you guys still can see. Maybe I adjust a bit. Wait. Okay. Why you won't pop out? It's weird. I think let's proceed first. I don't know why. So some basic computer command you need to know is that first one is ls. It's not okay. What I say here is basic. It's not really the basic. There's a lot of useful command that you need to know, but I just want to show you guys a few first. So the first one that you want to have is the ls. Oh, sorry. Maybe some of you guys just came in, so to open out your Git software that I asked you guys to do the Windows search bar and then type bash, you should have it. If you couldn't access it from here, you can also access it by right click your mouse at anywhere, and then I believe that there should be option appear in your window toolbar, so just click git bash here, it should appear. Yeah. Okay, back to this one. So the very first command you can type is ls. Just type ls and then hit enter. Yeah, I zoom in a bit. Sorry, I zoom in too much. Let me adjust the size a bit. I think this one is better. It's large enough for you guys to see what I type. Okay, so ls is basically list out all the file in the directory. Directory is just folder. It's just a fancy way. If you ask me, it's just a fancy way of calling a folder. And now I'm at the desktop folder. Desktop folder is what I see here. So ls will basically list out everything that's inside my desktop, like Bootstrap Studio, here, Dropbox that I have installed here, my resume, etc. Sorry, that's okay. And then cd is to change directory. Let's say I want to change to a photo. Let's say I have a folder here called photo, right? How do you change to that directory? How do you change into that folder? Because we are inside the desktop folder, right? How can we change into that? Well, that's where you need to use cd and then type the name of the folder you want to change into. And you see that here it changes. Before this is desktop, but now it's desktop/photo, right? Yeah, it means that we are inside the photo directory already. And again, after you enter another directory, you can type ls to list out the folder that's inside that photo folder. I mean the files inside the photo folder. I'm sorry. Yeah. So and then there are many more commands. I mean, I don't want to go through all of them, but maybe I just show you like pwd. Pwd stand for no, it doesn't stand for that. I mean, pwd will show you the current working directory. I mean, it show you where is your Git locating at. I just show you guys the result. Yeah, basically I type pwd, it will tell me the absolute system path that I'm in right now. And then ipconfig is to tell you guys the detail of the IP. I just show you guys. Yeah, it basically tell you quite a lot of things here. Don't try to hack me, please. I mean, it's a danger. And oh, it's not CLS, sorry. So what I show just now is that, I mean, as you guys can see, my Git bash is becoming meshy. There's a lot of stuff showing in the Git bash, so I just type clear to clear everything out. Yeah, and there's mkdir for you to create new directory. Maybe I just show again. Oh, sorry. Back to cd. If you want to go back to the previous folder, like we are inside the photo folder, right? Now I want to go back to desktop. How do I go back? Yeah, just cd space and then double full stop, and then it will bring you back. It will bring you back to desktop. Okay, so back to this. I want to create a new directory. I can also create a new directory, which is folder. I can create a new folder using a command line here. So let's say I want to create a folder as I just call it new folder, and then because I create it at the desktop, right? Yeah, so it appear here. So I've created a new folder here using the mkdir command. And what if I don't like this folder that I just created? I can also delete using the mkdir. I'm sorry, I don't really know the exact pronunciation for this command, so I just simply calling it. So now by typing this command, I can delete this new folder. Okay, let's check again. Yeah, I deleted that folder already. So I think that's all for, that's the end for the first part. Yeah, the first part is very short only. I just want to give you guys the hang of using command line interface. So before I proceed to the Git part, the interesting part, the main topic of today's workshop, I just want to be sure that is my talking speed too fast, or can everyone catch up? If not, I will proceed. Okay, I assume everyone is good, so I will proceed with this current pace. Oh good, okay, thanks. Okay, so here comes the interesting thing. That's why you guys came here today, Git. And before I talk about Git, I need to talk about the terminology first, so that you guys won't mess up, won't get messy when you listen to my presentation. So first of all, I want you guys to differentiate the difference between directory and repository. Directory, like I mentioned just now, is just a fancy way for you to call folder. So basically, I think a directory maybe it's more of a professional term. People will always kind of use the directory more often than folder. Yeah, depends. Anyway, it's fine. I just want to let you guys know. But repository is different. When you guys doing coding, I believe you guys came across the word repository, or in short, repo. Repo in short. It's actually a bunch of code file. It's not a folder, it's not a normal directory anymore. It's a special folder, special directory that allow us to apply the version controlling. So, and then the second terminology I want to talk about is the local and remote. Okay, local is the repo in your PC or laptop, and then remote is referring to the GitHub repo. Okay, so you guys might wondering, hey, what is the difference? Okay, so here comes the difference. Maybe you guys are still not sure what is the difference between Git and GitHub. Okay, actually before GitHub came out, way before GitHub came out, Git already exists. It's not like before GitHub came out, people don't do version controlling. People have been doing version controlling since a very early time, and they are doing it with this software Git. And Git is a software that let us do the version controlling in our local PC. Again, I stress on in our local PC only. So, but then after GitHub came out, people have a way to share their code. GitHub also can do version controlling, but if you ask me, the role that GitHub play here is more like a Google Drive for our code that can do version controlling. In Google Drive you can only store files and folder, right? You cannot do version controlling using a Google Drive, but GitHub is the Google Drive that you can do version controlling. So I explain again. Git is a software that let you do version controlling in your local PC, in your local folder here. But your code is not on the cloud. Your code is not on the cloud means that if your laptop drop into water, is completely broken, your code will also lost. But GitHub is a Google Drive. It's a Google Drive that lets us upload our code to the cloud, so that not just us, other people can also access our code. Okay, so that's the difference. Local is that you just use Git in a directory and you make that directory into a repo. But remote, when we talk about remove a server, we are referring to the repo that you uploaded to GitHub. Yeah, I type here so I can. Or you upload to GitHub. Hey, sorry. Okay, back to this. So why do you want to use Git, or why do we want to apply version controlling? Because it's like what its name trying to explain. So it helps us to keep track of changes to code. I mean, you don't need to keep on making, you don't need to do maybe I just, for you guys to try to understand what I'm trying to do, I just do it. Let's say when you want to, before you use Git, when you want to do version controlling, what you do is just that and then you do this, and then maybe you do this again, and then maybe you name this as random version 2, and then you name this as random version 3, and you do this endlessly. I mean, you have how many versions, then you do how many copies of it. It's inefficient, right? And you will definitely lose track of the changes you made at a certain point of time. That's why you need to use Git, because Git helps to keep track of changes to code. It helps you to remember it. So let's say here initially this is your code, and then after you add a line, you can use Git to keep track of the changes, and then Git will know that, oh, this is the second version my user created. And then maybe you want to delete a line, it will also help to remember, oh, afterward he deleted a line, this is the third version. And then Git together with GitHub, this one is work with GitHub, it lets you to synchronize code between people easily. So let's say that today you have a GitHub repo. I mean, you go to a new company today, you and your friend are new employee of a software company, and then your company hosts the code on the GitHub, and you guys want to get the code. Yeah, so you just go to GitHub and then get the code using Git. So both you and your friend get the code, and then you and your friend can make individual changes. Maybe your boss asks you to do feature A, while your friend need to do feature B. You guys don't need to worry about that, or your code, how to integrate your code later afterward. Don't worry. If you do it properly, Git and GitHub will help you to do that. Will help you to do the integration nicely. And then both of you guys upload the changes you made to the GitHub. GitHub will know how to merge the code if you do the things properly. I need to stress. If you do the thing properly, GitHub will help you automatically merge the code nicely. And then after both you guys upload your code, you see here you made feature A, your friend made feature D, and then after both you guys upload the code to GitHub, GitHub will have both the new feature you guys made. And afterward, you can use Git to get the changes made by your friend, or your friend can get the changes made by you. So that's the beauty of Git and GitHub. Besides, Git and GitHub using a Git and GitHub is also a nice way to test changes to code. And initially you want to do this, and then you suddenly think of, oh, let's have a new feature, but I'm not sure this new feature is a good stuff or not, because I think that in the process of development, we have suddenly a kid come in and you want to do a new feature, but you're not sure whether that new feature is a good thing to do or not. I mean, you can create a branch. Later I'll explain what is branch, don't worry. You can create a branch. Basically, it's like you create an alternate copy of code, and then in which that you can do the new feature you want without affecting the original code. And then if you think that the new feature you develop is completely fine, and you can also merge them. Okay, maybe you made some mistake and you want to go back to the previous version. Git also let you do that. You can go back to the second version. You can also go back to the first version if you want. Basically, it keeps track of every changes, and then you can go back to any version you want. Later I'll show you how. So I explained just now, GitHub just a Git repository online, just like Google Drive, and yeah. Okay, so let's proceed to the GitHub. I assume you guys all have the GitHub account, but if you haven't, maybe you can try to start register it. I think it's pretty easy to register one, but I just want to ask if you guys don't have it and need to register it now, maybe I can wait for you guys for like 5 minutes. Yeah, so if you still don't have a GitHub account, try to register it. Let's wait for 5 minutes. I apologize because I forgot to ask you guys whether you all have a GitHub account or not. Just go to github.com and then yeah. And then maybe while for those that have GitHub account, maybe I can share some useless fun facts. So maybe the first time you look at this logo, you might think that this is a cat for sure, but yeah, maybe I can show you guys that it is actually not so a cat. It's actually a octopus mixed with cat. Yeah, I mean, don't ask me why, I don't know. It's just AutoCAD. I mean, we call it AutoCAD in GitHub. Yeah. And it actually has a franchise, so if you guys think it's cute, you can try to look for its product. Yeah. Maybe it's because the branches, you know, in Git you can do a lot of branches, so it's just like octopus that has a lot of tentacles. Yeah. Okay. So let's wait for another 3 minutes. What's the difference of DS and deer? Can you do deer? I think that deer. The difference between deer is that it will show you, like, you can see it. Wait, I try to type both command to let you see the difference. Yes, kind of forget already. It's a one subtle difference that yeah, deer is mostly for window command, but it seems that deer also works here, but I don't know why. It seems that the difference is just that deer didn't print out. If you run deer in, I mean, deer mostly is for window command, like what the Legend X just says, but it seems like you still can run deer in Git Bash, but just that deer didn't print out the things nicely. As you see here, Bootstrap Studio has a space between P and S, but deer didn't print out it nicely. It even print out the escape letter, which is a /. Yeah. You would tend to mess up. I mean, me myself also mess up. Like CLS is actually for window command. I mean, just now I type CLS, try to clear my screen, right? But to clear my screen, actually I have to type clear. But I type CLS just now. It's not recognized. But because CLS is actually for window command, and clear, yeah, you cannot run clear in window command. I mean, me myself also mess up quite a lot. Okay, I think we can continue. If you guys still haven't finished the registration, try to register, try to let me know. Okay, 3, 2, 1. Okay, I assume everyone's good. So okay, back to this. So let's create a repo now. But there's 2 ways in creating repo. What I show you guys is just that I think it's slightly easier for today's workshop. So just follow me. So go to GitHub account page, and you will see that there's a green button here that let you create a new repo. You just click it, and then just type a repo name that you want to create. Since today is a GitHub workshop, I just say GitHub workshop. You can put any name you want. Important is that I mean, you don't need to remember it, just later you need to recognize it. Okay, description. Okay, let's put the description. This is a repo for GitHub workshop, and then you can make it private or public, it doesn't matter. Let's make it private lah, because later I want to show you guys how to show you guys a little bit of how to do collaboration in GitHub repo with your friends or colleagues. And then click add a readme file. I won't explain about license or Git, if I go into detail, there's quite a lot of things to talk about. So just click add a readme file, and then click create repository. Okay, so we created a repo, and then yeah, I think it's so. After you create a repo, I'm not sure you will see the same interface or not, but it doesn't matter. What is important is here, you need to have this. Okay, in case you guys get a different interface, I just show you guys both type interface you guys will see lah. So, what I want you guys to do now is get a URL. If you are in this interface, you can get a URL by copying this or press this button. It will copy to your clipboard. Or if you are in this interface, click the green button here, and then you can get a URL here. Okay, just get a URL, copy it, and then we'll run the first command. That's your very first Git command, Git clone. Git clone is a command that downloads the online repository to your computer. So we use Git bash to run it. Git clone. And then paste. Sorry. I mean, I should use this one. Yeah. Okay. Paste. Since I didn't copy it nicely, never mind. Wait. Sorry for the mistake. Okay, just git clone and then paste the URL you just copy and then hit enter. Since I am in the desktop folder, desktop directory, so I expect that I will find a repo created in my desktop. So let's look for it. Yeah. Here, it's created here. I will move it here so you guys can see it. And now we want to cd into this repo. GitHub workshop. And then we are inside this GitHub repo. You can type a ls to see what's the file inside. Remember that just now we created a readme, so after we ls, we can see that there's a readme file inside the folder here. And then the readme file will write, this is a repo for GitHub workshop. Okay. So, yeah, let's talk about the next command now. So, I'm sure that normally the repo you create, after you cd into it, you want to make some changes to the code. The slow way is that you open your code editor and then you navigate to the folder, right? You open folder and then navigate to the folder, right? Find the folder you want to code and then select folder, so that your editor will open that folder. But the fast way is that actually you can type a command that is called code and then space and then full stop, hit enter. It will open out the editor that's at the directory. See that I'm in the, maybe I try again, I show you guys again so you guys can see it. I go back to the desktop folder. You guys don't have to follow this, I'm just trying to show you guys this command. Okay, see that VS Code is, my VS Code is open at the desktop directory. Okay, clear. And then I cd into the GitHub workshop folder, the GitHub workshop repo. to be precise. The GitHub virtual repo, and then I type code. Right. So that I'm inside this folder now. Okay. So if you're, before this I also teach about Git and GitHub in the workshop. Some participants seems to be having trouble running this command. So if you're having trouble running this command, maybe you can troubleshoot this together afterward. But for now, just try to use this open folder to navigate to the correct folder. Okay, so next one. Okay, we don't look at the command first. We just focus on the coding editor first. So this is your repo, and you start to like, maybe you want to create some new feature, new coding file. So maybe you want to do a Python code. Let me say, I just call it simple.py. You want to create a Python code, I'm not sure, and just say print first version. I prefer this type this because I want to let you guys see later that we are doing the version controlling stuff here. Okay, notice that if you are using VS Code, for other editor, it should also have this kind of indicator, but for VS Code, you see that beside your file, there's a U, there's a character U. It's saying that it's untracked. It's untracked. This is the effect of you are doing version controlling in this repo here. It's basically telling you that the Git software is not tracking this file. Git haven't started tracking the changes of this file yet. So we need to tell Git that, hey, start to track this simple.py file. I want you to track the changes of this file. How to do that? Well, we go to the and then we use this command git add. Like what I say here, git add is to add a file to the tracking of version controlling, or git. Yeah. So we git add the name of the git track of simple.py. Yep. Okay. Don't get confused. You see, if you didn't see any output from the command you type, because in the world of Linux, if everything okay, it will output nothing. I repeat again. In the world of Linux, if your command runs successfully, it won't print anything. Which means that if you see nothing, means that your command is good. It's run successfully. Okay. Maybe you will say that, hey Zuyan, but this U sign already changed. Yeah, you see, it changed to A already. So it means that is the Git is start tracking the changes of this file already. Okay, but you are just applying the changes. I'm sorry, you are just let the Git start tracking already, but you haven't saved the changes. You haven't make a version for your code. So how do you do that? You need to use the command git commit. Let's go back to the slide a bit. Git commit will save the current state of the repository. Like what I write here at the bottom left, it's just a fancy way of saying save a version. It's just like you play game, you want to save that. Maybe it's like, maybe you play Pokemon. I'm not sure how many of you guys play Pokemon. Before you decide to do something in the Pokemon game, you want to be safe, so you just save your game first. And then once you fill the mission, you can log back the save data, right? Just the same, but here we call it commit. So let's look at this simple animation we made. So in the local, you made changes. Okay. Focus on the animation. You see, the remote didn't have any changes. My animation is only show that there's a changes made at the local. The remote haven't received any changes. What I'm trying to show here is that git commit, this command will only save the current state of the repository at your local PC. Again, at your local PC. The remote won't save, the GitHub repo won't get the latest changes. Later I'll show you guys how to let the GitHub repo, your remote, also get the latest changes. But now let's focus on the commit message. So maybe you guys start confused about what is the difference between git add and git commit. So try to imagine you are going to shopping. Git add is just like, you know, putting your things into the basket or into the trolley. But you haven't, but you just put it inside, right? I mean, you not necessarily want to purchase it yet. You are only sure you want to purchase it when you go to a counter and start making payment. That's git commit. So that's the difference between git add and git commit. And you will say that, hey, Zin, how to untrack it? That's not the scope of today's workshop. Yeah, you can try to Google it. Okay, back to this. So it's time for me to make a commit. But every time you make the commit, it's better for you to type a message, to give a message about what changes you made. I mean, or what's the name of this version. Yeah, so that first version of Python code. Yep. Here it says that it's created successfully. Okay, why you want to give a message? Well, the reason is very simple. The first one is that when you're collaborating with someone else, or you're leaving a project, maybe the new guy come in and he found that, oh, the code has some bug. He want to revert back to some older version. But if you didn't leave a nice message, he only see a version number. The new guy won't know that, oh, which version he should revert back, right? Yeah. Besides, he is also for ourselves. It's also for ourselves. Leave a nice message so that later when you want to revert back to the old version, you can also know what version you should revert to, right? I mean, if you every time you just type a insensible message like saying that, oh, some changes made, or new changes made, fine lines added, you yourself will also not sure which one you want to revert back, right, in the future. So that's why typing a nice message is always it's an art, I would say. It's also an art. So don't get lazy. Okay, so after that, it's time. So like I say, git commit only save the changes of your repo at your local PC. Then it's time for us to push the changes, the local changes, to the remote, to the GitHub repo. So, but before we push the changes, maybe some of you guys already heard about this word push pull in the world of Git and GitHub. But before I let you guys do the Git push, let's do Git status. Git status is actually a command that tells that how is the situation of your local repo compared to the remote repo. Actually tell us the info about this. So if you run this command, you should see some message that's like written something like this. It's actually telling that your local repo is ahead of the origin or main. Origin here actually is referring to the remote, yeah, by one commit. It's basically saying that it tried that, oh, the local repo you have has made one extra changes. One step forward than the remote repo. The Git status itself won't do anything. It's just telling you the status. Okay, then it's time for us to push the changes to the server. And when you want to push the changes to the remote or the server, just type git push. You don't need to give a message anymore. After you run it, if you see something like this, it means that you are successful. Your local changes has been made to the remote changes. So let's go back to the remote repo and let's see. Yeah, you see the simple.py file appear here, and it's 3 minutes ago. And it say that first version of Python code, which is the git commit message I typed just now. Okay, so congratulations, until this point, you already step into the world of Git and GitHub. You already know how to use Git and GitHub to track the changes of your code, and you also learn how a more efficient way to store your code on GitHub. I mean, before that, I know that some of you guys try. I also did that. I mean, it's no shame. I also try to F out by uploading file here. It's okay to do here, but like I say, CLI is way more efficient than GUI. Maybe you guys will see, hey, just one file. What if I want to add multiple files? You can also do that here, and it's way more faster. Trust me. Okay, until now, any questions? I just want to be sure that everyone can catch up a bit. Okay, seems like everyone is okay. Cool, thanks. Okay, so next up. Oh, maybe I also have prepared an animation for the Git push. Maybe we can have a look. Yeah, so you see the beginning of my animation is that we already have changes at the local repo. So it's time for us to push the changes to the remote repo. Yeah. Okay, so next up, I want you guys to step the level a little bit above. Is that maybe you have multiple file you created. I mean, since I forget to make one slide. Never mind. Okay, so what if you have created like 10, maybe 100, maybe 1000 file? I'm not joking. Sometimes you are using a framework. You add a new framework to this repo, and then the number of files will start maybe from 5 files will straight away jump to thousands of files. It's normal, especially you're doing mobile app development. So it's lame, right? I mean, if you are trying to git add one by one, you git add one by one, it's like it's troublesome, and it also definitely sounds stupid. But actually, you can do that with a command. With a command that I didn't show here. I apologize, I forgot to do that. Yeah, so we can use the command git add full stop to add every files to the tracking of changes. So maybe I create a multiple file that has no meaning. Right, literally I say random.txt, random1.txt, random2.txt, random3.txt. Yeah, and you see that I also type some random machine inside it. Okay, so I've like added like 4 files. Even just 4 files, you also feel that it's quite lame, right? You want to git add random1.txt. It's lame, right? I mean, we don't do that. Just git add full stop, hit enter, then you add every file to the tracking of changes. I see. Every file has been it's under the tracking of changes already. And same for commit. You can track every changes you made simply by -am. Before that, we type -m, right? Before the m, you add the a, become -am, and then also just put the commit message you want to make. This time I don't want to type second version of Python code because it's becoming insensible message. So I'll just say that added random 0 to 4 txt file. Yeah, I see that changes made. And again, I want to push the local changes to the remote repo. I just type git push. Okay, let's check our remote repo. Yep, see that 21 seconds ago we created 4 files. Okay, and it's becoming messy, so I will clear out the screen using clear command. Okay, next up, let's see. I'm sorry, my mouse is a bit broken. I'm not sure why. Okay, next up I want to let you guys see that how to get the latest changes from the remote server. I mean, imagine that you are collaborating with someone else and someone else has also pushed a code. I mean, he also opened our editor, add some new file, make some changes to the code, and then he pushed the changes from his PC to the repo here. You definitely won't get the changes at your local PC here also, right? I mean, if you can, that's kind of magic. Unless you are using a automated workflow. Okay, so how to get the changes made by your friend to the remote repo? Okay, to demonstrate how to do it, I'm going to simulate the changes made by your friend. Imagine that you have a friend now. Imagine you have a friend now and he's making changes to code. Second version. Changes made by your friend. And then changes made by your friend. This is just a simulation. I mean, just imagine that this changes is made by your friend from his PC. I mean, from another side. Yeah. Okay. So now there's the changes that our local repo here definitely don't have. I mean, yeah, here. So how to get the changes? Well, there's a command that's known as Git Pull. I think I won't show the animation. It's just a reverse of Git Push. So Git Pull is a command that let you get the latest changes from the remote server. And same like Git Push, you don't have to necessarily type anything, you just type Git Pull and then hit enter. Yeah. If you guys know how to read, actually the message that generated by Git has a lot of meaningful information, but I think I won't go into detail here. Just want to tell you guys that at some point of time you need to start learning how to read these messages. So let's see. See? Now simple.py has the latest changes made by our friend here. So okay, so yeah, so now consider you know how to push, you know how to create a repo, you know how to make changes to a repo, how to save the changes, and then how to push the changes to the remote repo, and then how to get the latest changes from the remote repo. So you know everything now. There's still a lot to talk about. Yeah, but before that, again, any questions or anyone find hard to catch up or follow? No. This the push command will upload the history of the version 2. I'm not really sure about your question, but yeah, it will. It will. I mean, maybe you git commit for a few times. This is an interesting question. If you made commit a few times before you push, will the push also? I think this will have to check before I answer you about this question. But basically, I think it won't. Yeah, I think it won't. Now I think again, I think it won't. Because later I will teach you guys about how to revert back to previous version, and there's two methods. I think I will just show here first. Because when you try to revert back, we'll use this command git reset, and this line is for you to revert back to the version of code you specific in your local repo. But this one maybe every version in your local repo are not the version you want. All of them are not the version you want. What you want is the version of the code on the remote repo. You can use this command instead. It will revert back all the code to the version of the code that you save on GitHub here. Okay, so I don't think the push command will upload all the history. It will just upload the latest commit you made. Okay, I think, yeah, everyone is good to go. Let's proceed. Okay. Remember what I said, that when you guys, that if you guys do properly, do the thing properly, the GitHub will know how to merge the code nicely without causing any weird error. I mean, don't you guys think that it's fantastic that Git and GitHub always know how to merge code nicely? Actually, they know how to merge code, only that if you didn't place the code in the weird way. I mean, it's kind of hard for me to explain, but I'll try to explain to you guys now. So, let's say that before I talk about merge conflict, let's say that, okay, now today, this is the code that you have. This is the code you have at your local repo, and you try to git pull. There's some latest changes at the remote repo. You try to pull the latest changes to a local repo. Oh, sorry. I forgot to explain one thing. I'm sorry. So this is your code that you have at your local repo, and you made some changes. You git commit. You git committed these changes, but you haven't git push. You haven't git push the changes yet. You decide to git pull because you know that. I mean, it always happens that when you git committed something, your friend or your colleague just git push something also. So maybe you think that, oh, before I git push, I want to git pull the changes made by my friend. But then the changes made by your friend is conflicting with the changes you made. Okay, I show again. So you added a line called b equal to 2, and you git committed it. You haven't git push it. I stress on, you just git committed it, but you haven't git push it yet. Means that the changes only saved at your local PC, but the changes is not uploaded to the remote repo yet. But at the remote repo, there is also changes at the line b equal to something, and then at the remote repo there is written as b equal to 0. Means that the remote repo with your local repo have a conflict. I mean, your local repo say, hey, I want b equal to 2, but your remote repo say, hey, I want b equal to 0, and Git don't know which one they should follow, and they will leave the decision back to you. So I'll simulate this. So first of all, like I say, change mailer might me. Wait. You say this is the third version. Yeah, say this is the third version. And then this one. You commit the changes. You just commit it. Third version of code. But you haven't git push it, like I show here. I didn't git push. But then at the same time, your remote repo has some new changes made by your friend, and maybe actually to your friend this is the fourth version already. And then your friend has pushed these changes to the remote repo, and your friend tell you that, hey, that's the new changes, you git pull it. So, and then you was like, oh, okay, sure, I will git pull it before you git push it. So you decide to git pull. See that now Git has detected something conflicting, because your friend here says that this is the fourth version, but then you say this is the third version, and Git don't know which one he should follow. So it just tell you that, hey, there's a conflict at this file simple.py. I need you to help me to resolve this conflict. And even prompt you see fix the conflict and then commit the result. So and yeah, and see that it's really very nice. Git even help you label out where is the conflict happening. It tell that this one current change, the green one is the changes made by you, but then the blue one is the changes made by your friend or changes coming from the remote. Let's use some more precise term lah. These are the changes you made at your local repo, and then these are the later changes from the remote repo. So it's asking you like, hey, which one should I choose? And you think that this depends. I mean, this depends on your coding project. But for here, I'm just assuming that third version is the right one. Your friend has made some mistake. It shouldn't be the fourth version. It should be third version. So say, third version should be the correct one. I need to remove this. Well, you can remove this manually by deleting this line. I mean, you need to delete this stuff by yourself. And then commit the changes. Commit the changes to the repo. But or maybe you can just use the if you are using VS Code has come in with some very handy feature, which is that you can choose which changes you want to make. You can say that, I want to accept the current changes, or you say I want to accept incoming change, or you want to have both, or before you want to decide which change you want to accept, you can compare changes, and VS Code will help you compare it out. I believe other editor will also have this feature. You guys just need to explore how to use it. So back to this, I want to accept current change, and then after I accept it, remember what Git tells us. After you fix it, please commit the result. So we listen to what Git asks us to do. For here I just say fix the conflict lah. I mean, this is not a good commit message, because conflict is definitely going to happen for like dozens of times in your coding project. So don't use the fix the conflict message. Be detailed about what conflict you solve and how to solve it. Fix it and then we push it. Yeah, now you see that the code is pushed successfully. Just I need some time because it's running on internet. Let's wait for it. Could it be my internet issue? Can you guys still hear me? I just want to be sure it's not my internet issue. Yeah, can still hear me. That's weird because my repo takes some time to load just now. Third version. You see, now I'm not sure why my Git bash is still running here, but if you guys see in the GitHub repo, I mean the remove repo that I have, it's already reflect the later changes. Yeah. Okay, so it finished running finally. Okay, so yeah, we just learned how to resolve the conflict. Resolve conflict is never that simple. It is kind of scary sometimes when you see a conflict happen, but don't worry, just take your time to understand why is the conflict happening, and then how to change the code. It oftentimes need a discussion within the team lah. I mean, it happens oftenly. Okay, back this one. So, okay, now we are going to start to talk about branch. Sorry. I put the content in the way that we want to talk about the reward first. Let's talk about the reward. Okay, so how to reward the changes you want to make? maybe that think that hey, third version is totally wrong. Let's go back to second version. So how to go back? Well, if you want to go back, you need to specify the version number. And where to get a version number? Well, you need to use the git log command. Git log command will list out every commit you made until now. And it's listed in the descending order. Yeah, I would say descending order because you see the later changes is displayed at the top, and then moving down is the oldest changes. Okay. So, why is the version number? Okay, before that I always call version number, but actually more precise we should call it commit number, and this is the commit number we should refer to. I mean here, the blue line. So maybe it says that I want to go back to this one. I need to copy this, put it somewhere that you can use it later. Yeah, put it here first, and then back to yeah. I thought you wouldn't quit from the command, so I quit a few times. Okay, back to this. So let's revert here. So like what I mentioned just now, if you want to revert back using a commit number version, we use this command instead: git reset --hard, and then the commit number we want, paste it. Yep. So now you see that we have successfully revert back to the version we want. And you see the code is go back to the first version code. I mean it's back to the state when we just added 4 random text files. But do remember that you only revert back at the local repo. Here at the remove repo is still the latest one. And if you want the remove repo also revert back, I mean you don't have to go to the remove repo to revert back, you just need to type the git push command. Oh, I need to integrate the remove changes yet. I think this one is a bit confusing. I think let's not worry about that first. Let's not worry about that. Just for you guys to know that you can do it this way. Okay, back to this. So yeah, I think we can talk about the branching already. I think that maybe we can have a 5-minute break because I think I cover quite a lot. Maybe you guys need some time to process it first. So yeah, I think let's have a 5-minute break before we continue. I think we are almost finished our content already. Yeah, so I think yeah, let's have a 5-minute break. See you guys 5 minutes. In the meanwhile, you can go and drink some water or go to the toilet. Yeah, see you guys later. Stop presenting first.